In the world of economics, certain phenomena stir discussions and evoke concern among policymakers, economists, and the general public alike. One such contentious economic condition is stagflation. This term, a blend of stagnation and inflation, captures a paradoxical situation where an economy experiences slow economic growth, high unemployment, and rising prices simultaneously. Understanding stagflation is crucial as it poses unique challenges to economic stability and policy making on a global scale. Defining stagflation. Stagflation is characterized by three primary economic indicators: sluggish economic growth, rising inflation, and increasing unemployment. Typically, inflation occurs when an economy is booming, and unemployment is low, driven by a surge in demand for goods and services. Stagflation, however, presents a paradox where inflation persists despite stagnant demand and sluggish economic performance. Historical context. Stagflation gained prominence during the 1970s, a period marked by significant economic turmoil. Two main factors contributed to this scenario: the oil crisis, which saw drastic increases in oil prices due to geopolitical tensions, and supply chain disruptions. These led to increased costs for businesses, subsequently passed on to consumers as higher prices, while economic growth stalled and unemployment rose, a classic case of stagflation. Causes of stagflation. The emergence of stagflation can be triggered by various factors. Supply shocks, sudden disruptions in the supply of key commodities, such as oil, can drive up costs, leading to inflation while concurrently stifling production and economic growth. Policy decisions. Misguided monetary policy can contribute to stagflation. For instance, excessive expansionary fiscal policies without corresponding supply-side reforms might lead to inflation without stimulating growth. Expectations of inflation. If businesses and consumers anticipate higher future inflation, they may act in ways that fulfill these expectations, such as demanding higher wages or increasing prices preemptively, fueling a stagflationary cycle. Impact on global economies. The ramifications of stagflation are profound and challenging, affecting both developing and developed nations. Fiscal strain. Governments face increased fiscal pressures as revenue declines due to slower economic growth, while expenditures rise, particularly on unemployment benefits and subsidies. Policy dilemmas. Central banks grapple with a dilemma. Raising interest rates to counter inflation may exacerbate unemployment and halt growth, whereas lowering rates to stimulate growth may worsen inflation. Global trade effects. Stagflation in major economies can lead to reduced demand for exports globally, affecting trade balances and economic stability in interconnected economies. Investment climate. Uncertainty and diminished economic prospects lead to reduced investor confidence, affecting both domestic and foreign investments. Mitigating stagflation. Addressing stagflation requires a delicate balance, involving both short-term measures and long-term structural reforms. Supply-side policies. Governments might focus on increasing productivity and efficiency through investments in infrastructure, technology, and education to stimulate growth. Monetary and fiscal balance. Carefully calibrated monetary policies, coupled with prudent fiscal management, can help stabilize prices without stifling growth. Diversified energy sources. Reducing dependence on volatile commodities, such as oil, through investments in renewable energy can mitigate risks associated with supply shocks. In conclusion, stagflation remains a daunting economic challenge, necessitating nuanced understanding and comprehensive policy responses. As global economies remain susceptible to unforeseen shocks, learning from past experiences with stagflation becomes imperative to safeguard economic stability and growth.